So far we don't know very much. We've met Violet Sorengale, who is our protagonist. We've also met her mother, who is a general. Violet has a sister named Mira, who is a rider. As far as I can tell, you can be one of 4 different things in the Kingdom of Nevers: a healer, a scribe, infantry, a rider. Violet's father was a scribe, and he spent a lot of time in the library, so in turn Violet spent a lot of time in the library, and it was assumed that she would become a scribe. But the last 6 months she's been training to become a writer because of her mother. Mira comes in and tries to stop this because on conscription day 40 or 50 people usually die because they don't bond with the dragon and they get killed. Mira is fighting with the mother, and she just made a terrible comment about, do you really want to lose another child? Well, we find out a couple of lines down that they did lose a child who was also a rider, a boy named Brennan, who was lost in the Battle of... He died 5 years earlier, fighting the Tirish rebellion in the south. Violet's father's chest pains started not long after Brennan died, and then not long after that, the father died. There's been a lot of loss in this family, and it's clear that's part of what is motivating the mother to make Violet become a writer. Now, Violet is described as a frail little thing who is clearly not cut out to become a writer, and I'm sure later on she's going to prove us all wrong. We also get a hint on page 5 that once you're bonded with a dragon, you're able to channel powers through that dragon. So their mother has a storm-wielding signet power that she channels through her dragon, Aimsir, because she changes the temperature in the room and drops it. So not only do you get a dragon that you're bonded with for life that you can fly on, but you also get powers that you can use while off the dragon. Okay, alright, okay. I like where this is going. Another interesting thing to note is that her mother is already emotionally unavailable. She's not a great mom, and it's only going to get worse since she's the commanding general of Basquiat War College, which is where Violet goes. She's not going to be able to acknowledge her for 3 years. I think it's so weird. Everybody knows you're related. Just stop with the dramatics. Alright, I already know this shit is going to turn into Avatar, where she's going to try to command the dragon, try to, get the... Alright, let's see where this goes. Okay, listen, I read some more. I was reading, and I actually got the graphic audio version of the audiobook, so I was listening to that a little bit last night when I woke up in the middle of the night and I couldn't sleep. Nothing's too crazy, like romance-wise, has happened yet. It reminds me very much of the relationship in Divergent between Triss and Four. She comes in, she's in this new faction, it's the most dangerous one of all of them, and he's one of the leaders of the faction, and he hates her. This one, the stakes are even a little bit higher because it's not a dystopian, which I appreciate. There's tension because there is death. There's mutual loss. So they both kind of hate each other, but she's into him. Okay, we can't hear his perspective, but he's into her a little bit too. I'm glad there are a couple of cheesy lines that she says that are just eye roll to me a couple of times, but overall, I appreciate how the focus is mainly on the events taking place at the War College and not between Violet and Xaden. Oh my god, like there's no like stupid bumping intos and like putting up against the wall. That's probably coming, I'm sure. I'm probably about 140 pages in, let's say. She just passed the test on presentation day using the dagger to get up, and she's safe now. She's losing friends right and left. I also have a prediction. You know her friend Rhiannon? I'm a little nervous that they're setting it up, Rebecca is setting it up for her to die. I don't like this. I don't like it. I know it's very early on in the story, but I'm too scared to get invested in anybody because they just die. Yeah. This is where we're at so far. I actually need to catch up on the book part because I've been listening to the audiobook this morning. So, hold on. Rhiannon
follows behind, with Luca bringing up the rear.
Pretty incredible, aren't they?
They are. They're on it.
Okay, so they're walking past all of the dragons, And I have a feeling that she's gonna get the feather tail for some reason, because just like her, the feather tail is extremely underestimated and underrated. So I'm on page 150. This is out of 498 pages, so I feel like I'm making good progress. I definitely want to finish this as soon as I can, so I can get to the next one. I don't feel great about the next one. I heard that it felt a little rushed, not as well thought out, but if I'm gonna be absorbed into this world, then I don't mind if it's not as strong as the first one. There was a lot of setup, a lot of introduction. I will say that I appreciate the way that Yarros puts in exposition, in that she's made Violet a nerdy girl. Okay, she's a bookish queen. She loves to read, and not only that, she remembers what she reads. So when she's going through these very stressful and traumatic tests and situations, she recites history that we don't quite know yet. Like about when she's crossing the parapet, she's talking about the map of the world, basically, and teaching us where everything is and the relationships, and there was a rebellion. I like the way Yarros puts that into the story, instead of just being like, here, this is what it is. Not extremely inventive, but I'm not asking her to be this incredibly inspiring work of fiction. This, which it is, in a way, this is a book about dragons, baby. And it has over 1.5 million ratings on Goodreads. So people have eaten this book up. As am I. About 5 hours and 17 minutes into the 17-hour book. I've got 10 hours left. And I like it so far. I don't love it. I'm not obsessed with it. Not yet. My auntie just finished this book and she said that it's worth the hype. So I'm curious to know when this is going to pick up. And I also want to say that I'm mainly listening to the graphic audio version for the action sequences, because I have a great imagination, but you know me, I'm a film girl. So I love an elevated moment with music and sound effects and I was about to say lighting, sure. And reading that in a book isn't always the best way that it can be delivered. I will say though that the girl in this recording, she kind of bothers me sometimes. Almost like the way that she says certain things dumbs the writing down just a little bit. The performance, it's not perfect, but it's not terrible either. I like it. I don't hate it. I just wish I just wish she took it a little bit more seriously. You know what I'm saying? And some of it I'm like, okay. But some of the lines are unserious, so I can't completely fault her for that. Anyways, that's where I'm at. I'm in. Tern just chose Violet. The second black dragon, the only other black dragon in the kingdom who's not bonded, the largest dragon of them all, chose Violet. Because Violet was in the forest, she's walking, and she sees a golden dragon, and she's like, she looks like she's in trouble. I'm not sure if she can defend herself. I'm not sure if she can spit fire like the other dragons. And then she sees a group of people that she knows that she doesn't like, and they're fixing to kill Golden Dragon. So she stops them. She fights and stabs and slits and smacks. The Golden Dragon is gracious. Violet just saved that Golden Dragon's life. The big ass black dragon swoops in. Says, get on my back, Violet Sorengale. Oh shit. He values not her physical strength, but the strength of her courage, her integrity, her values, her compassion, her empathy. And that's why he chose her. Just when she thought she wasn't gonna be bonded with any of them, she got the best damn one in the motherfucking bunch. Excuse me. Rhiannon is not a lesbian, she is a bisexual. Oh yes, cause after the thrashing, there was a man sneaking out of her room. Okay, she's getting the best of all the worlds. Just call her Hannah Montana, bitch. This is where we're at. The Black Morningstar Tail Dragon has bonded with our girl Violet. But not just him. Remember when I said she saved that golden dragon earlier? Well, she's also bonded to Violet now. Her name is Andarna. She's a gold feather tail. She's sickening. And you know what? I'm watching her on television right now, actually. Yeah! She's sleeping right now. She's very sleepy. I'm in the vibe. I'm in the vibe. Okay? Don't talk to me about anything else other than Fourth Wing right now. I'm taking some notes. That's what I'm looking at right now. So basically, Taryn is mated to the Gale, which is Xaden's dragon, so they have to be together. They cannot be separate for very long or bad things happen. So they're together. And Darna, from what I can tell, I don't know their relationship yet, but I'm guessing that's his daughter. Taryn's daughter is Andarna. She's smaller, she flies, but she doesn't blow fire yet, and she's too small to have someone ride her as of right now. Like I said, Xaden is bonded to Sigale, who is a blue dagger tail. Dane, I just took some notes because I'm trying to keep all of these things together. So Dane's bonded dragon is named Kath, who is a red sword tail. Rhiannon, she's spy. Her dragon's name is Fearg. They're a green dagger tail. The list goes on. I could keep going, but this is where I'm at so far. They keep saying the word venin, so I had to look it up because I'm just unclear on the verbiage. But basically, venin are dark wielders who draw their power not from the bond with their dragon, but from the earth, from source itself. So they are evil, they're the villains of the story. And then wyvern are the evil counterparts to dragons, which are created by venin. Sure. I don't know what's going on. We're kind of just in school right now. Like, there's no, like, crazy battles or nothing. We're just recovering from the threshing, just going about our day. Everybody's shook because Violet, who people thought no dragon was going to bond with her, she got 2 dragons. And that has never happened in the history of bondation. People are confused, there's no rule around it, so they have to honor it because dragons make up their own rules. And that's right, bitches, you just gotta deal with it. Period. I love that Yarros is like, you might be a small and a frail girl, but who said the strongest are gonna win? The smartest are gonna win, baby. Have you seen The Hunger Games? Have you read The Hunger Games? Those strong bitches, they die. It's the ones who are smart who really make it to the end. As we see at the end of Hunger Games when Katniss forces the Capitol to keep both her and Peeta alive because they're about to swallow the berries. So it's all about what's going on in here, not what's going on in here, okay? Even though Zane's got a couple of these, Levis a couple of guns and a couple of We still don't know very much about him. He just is an angry, brooding man who seems to kind of be into her, but not completely sure about it. Now this is going to be even more conflicting because his dragon needs to be with her dragon, so there's got to be some kind of relationship there. Okay? I don't know. Let's see what page I'm on right now. This is exciting. I'm in the world. I'm in the Empyrean. Violet is sad right now because her and her best friend from childhood and still best friend, Dane, she's like, he's gorgeous. I don't know what is wrong with me, but Dane kissed her last night. It was kind of awkward. It wasn't it. And that's okay. She felt nothing. She felt a little bit of something. It's always awkward when that happens. Yeah. So she goes to visit her friend in the archives. There's some things. Yeah, I'm on page 211. All right, we're getting there. We're getting there. I just finished One Dark Window a few days ago, so I'm kind of loving that Taryn is this voice in her head. They can speak to each other telepathically, even when he's not right next to her. And he's sassy, and he's wise, and it's just reminding me so much of the nightmare from One Dark Window and Elspeth. But he's like an elevated version of the nightmare, because the nightmare is not really looking out for Elspeth's best interest, but in this case, in Fourth Wing, he's actually looking out for Violet and helping her. She's now being attacked in her own bedroom by the unbonded, 4 unbonded men and 3 unbonded women, one of them being Orin. They're all just out to kill her, which is so fucking annoying. It's like, I can't even get a good night's rest without being worried that I'm gonna get killed. Pfft, good night. Miss Yarros, I have a bone to pick with you. You are, and I'm sure someone has pointed this out before, but it's just like driving me crazy. You are saying purchase too many damn times in this book. Here's an example. It's not the traditional meaning of purchase. Listen. But my bare feet make no impact as he lifts me off the ground, cutting off my air supply as I kick for purchase. Basically, you know, I don't know what the technical definition is, but you know what I mean. She's looking for stable ground, something to stand on. We've got to use a thesaurus, babes. I mean, here's me just lecturing a fucking full-on author. But there's too many purchases in here. Too many. If I took a shot every time I read purchase, we're on page 222. If I took a shot every time, I should certainly be drunk by now. It's been at least 7 or 8 times that you just said purchase. And I see it and it bothers me.
Oh my god, girl. Zaddy to the rescue. Or should I say Zaddy?
I'm not like obsessed with this man yet, okay? I'm not. But the way that he just... So let me give you the rundown. She's getting attacked in the room, right? She's fighting right and left. You know, she's been training. She's been doing her thing. She's been daggering. But she's about to get choked out by Oren, who she should have killed, but she's merciful. That's not a flaw that Satan possesses. And Darna has the power to freeze people. Somehow. Or actually, she freezes time. So in that moment, she speaks to Violet and tells her to go. She freezes everyone in the room. Violet runs toward the door, and guess who's there? Zayden. Time comes back, and Darna wasn't able to hold it for much longer, so she let it go. And Zayden is fucking pissed. He is so mad that his rage has him display his almost stoic calm. This controlled violence. He's about to kill all these bitches. Remember, he's a shadow wielder. Okay? Shadows. Ugh. One of the rules of the Codex of the Quadrant is that you cannot attack a fellow rider while they're sleeping. I get that, but this is the War College. Baby, anything goes. And Zayden gets that too. So he kills them all like it's nothing. Oren, bye. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, bye. Oh my god, I like that. Yes! Oh my god, like, I don't condone murder, but it was Warren said. Even Garrick walks in and he says, "Damn, Zayden, no time for questioning." And Zayden goes, "No need for it." Point for Zayden. "Miss Yarros, you do too much over here. You've been watching too much Bridesmaids, haven't you? Not that I wouldn't climb the man like a tree if presented with the right set of circumstances." I'm gonna climb that like a tree. I cringe as we make it to the main hallway of the dormitory. Yeah, you cringe because that thought is cringy. So listen here. One bitch ran out of the room that night let me get my words together, because I'm pissed. When Violet was getting attacked, somebody escaped. I had a feeling I knew who it was when after Violet was about to tell Zayden who it was, because she saw her, she got a good glimpse of her. There was a quote saying that accusing a ringleader of a crime is the most serious thing in the world. I knew it was that bitch. I knew it was that bitch. She never liked Violet from the beginning, and now she's getting up. She was accused publicly by Zayden in front of everybody, in front of all the wings. "I didn't do it. It wasn't me. What are you talking about?" Violet's like, "How the fuck are we gonna prove this?" She talks to Taryn and she says, "You show them a memory, only what they need to see." Shows them the memory. It's her bitch. She's guilty. She's like, "I was just doing my duty to get rid of the weakest link." Self-snitching. Now she's gonna die by fire. All right. Farewell, Amber. Bye, sweetie. We've got this much left. Can't even see it. A little sliver. Baby, I've been reading. Oh, wow. I can't say I'm obsessed, but I'm definitely invested. It just has me by my throat. I can't even update you on all the things I read because this book moves so quickly. It's just like thing after thing after thing after thing. Okay, it's good. Now that sex scene, that was really something. I was not expecting her orgasms to produce lightning. Yeah. Yeah, and then his shadows, they're just destroying the room. It's a lot. It gives me very much that Uma Thurman movie. Remember when she's a super ex-girlfriend or something? And they're having sex and she's destroying shit? It was giving that, and I was visualizing it. How they're gonna make that into an episode? Couldn't tell you. No clue. As for like the serious storyline of it, I'm not completely sure if I like that part. Maybe just because we're just getting introduced to it. Like, I like the drama. What I'm talking about is like the secretive government war, what's going on outside the walls kinds of thing. I don't know if I'm invested in that yet. I want, graduation day is coming soon, but she's not graduating, right? It's just the third year. I hear that the ending of this is pricey. I'm on page 411. Out of 498. It's gonna start going really quickly. I mean, the pacing of this book is masterful. There's, in a nearly 500 page book, there's only been a couple of times where I'm like, all right, this is a little slow, let's keep it moving. Like sometimes when she's spitting exposition or she's telling us something that we need to know, I'm just like, all right, I get it. I have found myself a couple of times opening the map and just like listening to her talk and watching her explain something going on. Love Mira, she's a bad bitch. That reunion between the two sisters was so special. Hearing Mira and Violet reunite after I think a year, and Mira saved the book. At the very beginning, she's like, empty your backpack, it's too heavy, you're not going to be able to cross the parapet. Mira saved the book from their dad with the folk tales in it, and that's really, yeah. I hope she doesn't die. I mean, I'm not going to get invested in anybody, but I hope she doesn't die. Liam is just a sweetheart. He is just taking care of Violet for his brother. It's like foster brother, basically adopted brother. His brother Zayden, just watching over her, and the guy in the audiobook has a very deep voice, so he's like, big and booming. But I would love to know, who would you cast as Liam and Zayden? I mean, and Violet. Just tell me your thoughts. Any of that. I'm getting close to the end. I finally got to the sex scene in Fourth Wing. I wasn't ready for all that. And if you haven't heard the graphic audiobook version of that specifically, you need to go listen to it, because it's surround sound, it's immersive. Those actors are acting all the way down. She is a lightning wielder, right? We know that. While she's having orgasms, she's striking lightning. And he's a shadow wielder, so he's doing shadows around the room. They're destroying the fucking room.
Oh my god, that shit is crazy. Fucking crazy. Yarros, you nasty girl. I see your game and I kind of like it.
I'm just imagining this white lady with the purple tips over here clicking and clacking away, or writing, or however she does her process, just kicking her feet, giggling like, woo! Ooh! Ooh! Like, she knows she did something with that. Yeah.
I finished it. I finished it last night, and wow, she really knows how to write an ending. On the last page, my jaw was dropped. I should have expected it, but I didn't. She got me so fucking good. Andrew came in and he's like, and I was like, she gagged me. She did. I was not expecting Brennan to be alive. At all. Holy shit. Welcome to the rebellion, Violet. She knows how to write a line that just gets real good. And in that last clip, I was just talking about how I thought Liam was a sweetheart. Yeah, she killed him off. I wasn't expecting that at all. I should have, because he was her protector, her shadow the entire time. I should have been ready for that, but I wasn't. I've been trying to avoid every single spoiler online while also looking up definitions of things. Like, I was like, what is the Empyrean? It's called the Empyrean series. What does that mean? Well, in our world, in classical cosmology, it means the highest heaven. But in the book because I had to look this up. It wasn't in the first book. The Empyrean is the governing body of dragons, the leadership of dragonkind. I didn't know that. Now I do. So I'm trying to Google things without getting things spoiled, and that's very difficult. Especially on Google search, because all these questions come up and they just piss me off because the questions themselves are trying to spoil shit. I got a minor spoiler from Iron Flame, and it's fine, but I'm annoyed. I'm about to stop using Google in a moment. So we lost Liam and his dragon D, who was a red dagger tail, and Liam was Zayden's brother. Now Dane, I'm ready for him to go. If she does not kill him at some point throughout this series, I'm gonna have some strong words for her. That last act, what a ride. She knows how to ride an action sequence. I mean, I was over here holding on for dear life as I watched the dragons and the griffins and the wyvern and the venom all fighting each other. I didn't even know what to believe at that point because we were taught one thing and now something else is happening. And I'm like, who do we trust? Who do we believe? Killing right and left. He was the only major death in this book. If she kills off somebody like Rhiannon or her sister Mira, Rhiannon, Garrick, and Mira are the main people that I would be annoyed if they were killed off. Obviously Xaden, obviously Violet, but I don't think they're gonna get killed off. You know what? I'm gonna say Imogen is growing on me. She has grown on me. She actually seems to care about Violet for once. Towards the end, after she gets poisoned and she's struggling, Imogen really cares. Whether that is mainly because she loves Xaden and she's thinking about his life if Violet dies, I don't know. But we'll see what happens. These past few days, I have loved escaping into this world of danger, sex, and dragons. Violet is always on the edge of getting killed, and yet she's horny 24/7. Wet. As soon as her body gets a taste of Xaden Ryerson, she just can't seem to get enough. Xaden is so distractingly hot. The amount of cringy lines that Rebecca Yarros is able to squeeze into this book is impressive. There are lines in this book that shouldn't ever be uttered. They should never be coming out of someone's mouth. And yet there they are, written plainly on the page, up for interpretation. This 20-year-old woman, Violet, at some point in the book, she says, "Holy fucking hot." No, that's not necessary. That doesn't need to be spoken out loud. It doesn't need to be thought, and it certainly doesn't need to be written down. I'll defend Miss Girl a little bit because she is a bookworm. She was trained to be a scribe originally. She grew up in the archives in the library with her father. So I gotta give her a little bit of grace because she's naturally awkward. She hasn't spent a lot of time socializing. She spent most of her time with her head in a book. It's a little justified, but it's still weird as fuck. The book is fast-paced, but it's too long. 498 pages. Most of it is nonstop action, but there are places she could have pulled back and not yap so much. Violet's got a lot to say for a girl that spent most of her life inside books. I can't talk because I'm a reader and I'm one of the yappiest bitches you'll ever meet. Authors feel like they have a lot they need to get off of their chest. I get it. Say what you want. It's your book. But I just felt like certain scenes dragged on for a little too long, and we could have trimmed it to just include the necessary. And that's the same critique that I would give to Brandon Sanderson books. I'm about to dive into him at some point this year. I don't know when, but his books are long as over 1,000 pages. That seems unnecessary, but I'll leave that review for another day. I like that the story in Fourth Wing explores the themes of corruption, censorship, and misinformation. We're not just running around making out and flying dragons. This is not a Dragon Academy simulator. There are government secrets, a mounting rebellion, and evil, dark, magical forces at play. It's perfect for those looking for the nostalgia of books like Harry Potter, Hunger Games, Divergent, even Twilight. while not getting caught up into the complicated world of fantasy literature. Fantasy can seem extremely daunting to outsiders, me included. So I appreciated that this book was so accessible. I feel like this is priming me to experience a rich fantasy world like the Stormlight Archive. Because the entire time I was reading this book, I craved better writing. Most times it felt very straightforward, which comprehension-wise I appreciated. But the analytical side of me wanted these grand ideas presented in a more polished way. Yarros did a tremendous job with the world building. Navarre, Basgaia, Threshing, Rider's Quadrant, the Rebellion / the Apostasy, the passages from various fictional books at the top of every chapter, the dragons, the signets, the characters, the relationships, the stakes. Yarros excels at immersing you in her world. Once I got to the last chapter, though, which is from the voice of Xaden, I was wishing we could have gotten other perspectives throughout the book too. But I understand why she held with Violet, because she's the main character, and for some people, shifting through perspectives can get overwhelming. But I liked seeing her write in Xaden's voice, which maybe she'll play with this idea in the sequels, I don't know. I like Violet, but she got on my nerves. Not as much as other characters in books I've been reading lately, but enough to be noticeable. I haven't read much fantasy, so I didn't know how well we'd get along, me and the genre, but this book is so accessible that it could get anyone invested. Yarros has been an author for many years, and I'm glad that she's found her secret sauce that has given her mainstream success. While she may be forced to live in Navarre for several more years, I hope she gets the chance to create other works that she's passionate about. Now I need to ask you, because maybe you know, how many books are planned for this series? 'Cause I really thought it was 3, and when I was Googling around, I'm hearing it might be 5. It might be 7. Okay, now hold on now. I thought it was a trilogy, so that's part of why I went to buy Onyx Storm on the release day. I wanted to be part of the cultural phenomenon. But I also wanted to read all 3 books in a row and wrap this story up. Now, I can't judge too harshly because several other fantasy series have way too many books in them. But to me, this story seems like it could be told in 3 books. Now, I don't know what Miss Yarros has up her sleeve, so that it could be too early to say that. But just from the first book, I don't feel like we need that many. Again, I can't judge too harshly because Sanderson is over here just doing book after book after book, 1,000 pages each. Escaping into Navarre is just what I needed, as the world outside is crumbling. I'm just trying to find ways in my own life that I can soften the blow. All I hear about is the shit show going on outside. And for 3 days, I was able to escape into another land. That is problematic in its own ways. But they got magic. And they got dragons, girl. And you could orgasm and strike lightning down at the same time. Fly or die is right. I hope I was able to provide a nice little escape today. That's it for this one. Will I do a video on Iron Flame? Maybe. Should I recap Fourth Wing? Can I even do that in under an hour? I don't know, because there's another fantastic video recapping the first book, but it's like 4 hours long. That's a lot. Can I challenge myself to do it in shorter? Maybe. We'll see. Because I like the lore. I like the ins. I like figuring out the ins and the outs, the details. I like all that. So maybe I should put that together. Will I like Iron Flame as much as I liked Fourth Wing? That's the question. I really just want to get through Iron Flame so I can get to Onyx Storm, because I want to open up that book with the sprayed edges. I really feel like I'm there. I need answers, and all I'm getting is more questions. Mahalo for watching. I hope I've inspired you to read something today, and I'll see you next time. Good night.